Good morning, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal arrived Nepal earlier today after concluding the 19th summit of the non-aligned movement in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Preparations underway to amend the act related to political parties to safeguard the ruling alliance. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps and Lebanon's Hezbollah group helping to direct and oversee Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping. And Nepal taking on New Zealand today in their first match of the ongoing Under-19 World Cup in South Africa. Match scheduled to kick off at 1:45 p.m. Nepal time. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has arrived Nepal earlier today after concluding the summit of the non-aligned movement held in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Premier Dahal had arrived at the Trivandrum International Airport at 9 a.m. earlier this morning. Speaking to reporters at the airport, Premier Dahal termed his visit to Uganda successful. He added that discussions among the political parties are underway to conclude the transitional justice by reaching a consensus. The Premier said that the bill will move forward from the upcoming Parliament meetings and that the remaining works of the peace process will be concluded. Prime Minister Dahal, who had reached Uganda on Thursday last week, also addressed the NAM summit. With the promulgation of the Constitution of Nepal, intricate laws were formulated to prevent party division. However, parties who reached at the helm of the government amended the law in their favor. Some amended laws while others changed it through an ordinance. Meanwhile, the ruling alliance has been making efforts to restore the previous law regarding party division. Former Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba had introduced an ordinance on 17th of August 2021 allowing party division with the support of 20% of lawmakers or 20% central members. CPN Unified Socialist was formed following the split of CPN UML. Likewise, a new party led by Mahanta Thakur was formed after the Election Commission, amid controversy, gave the authority of the Janata Samajwadi Party to Upendra Yadav faction. Preparations have been made to table the amendment bill related to political parties at the Parliament. Former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had also made efforts to ease party division by introducing an ordinance. However, it was later withdrawn due to widespread criticism. The ordinance introduced by former Prime Minister Deuba had become invalid after it was not endorsed by the Parliament. The political parties have always made efforts to change the provisions of the Constitution and the law in their favor. All the bilateral efforts made by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to repatriate Nepali youths who have been recruited in the Russian army have been rendered ineffective. Instead, the number of Nepali youths that have lost their lives in the Russia-Ukraine war has been increasing. The government does not have proper data on the number of Nepali youths that have joined the Russian army. Minister for Foreign Affairs NP Saud during the 19th summit of the non-aligned movement in Kampala, Uganda yesterday urged Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybakov for the repatriation of Nepalese nationals recruited in the Russian army. He also requested Russia to stop recruiting Nepali nationals into its army. In response, the Russian Deputy Minister assured of necessary initiatives without even holding a discussion. Prior to this, Nepal had already made such requests to the Russian embassy in Nepal and the Nepalese embassy in Moscow. However, Nepal's appeal has gone unheard. Russian President Vladimir Putin's office has been maintaining that foreign nationals cannot be recruited in the Russian army. However, according to Nepali youths who have fled the Russian army, more than 500 Nepali youths have joined the Russian military. With the extension of the Russia-Ukraine war for over 2 years, President Putin endorsed a new law allowing foreign nationals to join the Russian army. The Russian government lured foreign nationals by saying that they would provide Russian citizenship within a year after joining the army and allow their family to permanently stay in Russia. In the meantime, the government is unaware that Nepali youths have been fighting from the Ukrainian side as well in the Russia-Ukraine war. The increasing number of street vendors in the urban areas has caused difficulty for the pedestrians. The Kathmandu and Lalitpur metropolises introduced policies with a view to prevent street vendors from occupying footpaths and better manage them. The Lalitpur metropolis has allocated various places and time for street vendors to operate their business, while Kathmandu metropolis has yet to take initiative in this regard. The street vendors who sell fruits, vegetables and garments in Lalitpur's Lagankhel area are busy during the evenings as the authority has allocated this time for them to operate their business. They are happy with the authority's decision. However, the pedestrians face a difficulty in walking through the area. Likewise, problem in management of vehicles in the area has also been witnessed. Lalitpur Metropolis has said that policies are being formulated in this regard. Meanwhile, the Kathmandu Metropolis has removed street vendors from the streets has yet to ensure their proper management. The Kathmandu Metropolis has been looking for a place for the street vendors to carry out their business. Demands of the street vendors to let them operate their business on the streets cannot be fulfilled by the local authority. However, it is the local government's responsibility to ensure management of street vendors. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces regarding management of street vendors in urban areas. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
जहाँ उनीहरूको चलिरहेको हुन्छ जहाँ उनीहरूले पहिलेदेखि गरिरहेछन् त्यही ठाउँलाई व्यवस्थित गरेर त्यो महानगरले व्यवस्थित गरेर सञ्चालन गर्न दिनुपर्छ
जहाँ नयाँ व्यवस्थापन र व्यवस्थापित गरिन्छ ती व्यापारीहरूलाई ती चाहिँ दीर्घकालीन रूपले चाहिँ उनीहरूको त्यो स्थायित्व हुनुपर्छ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ
घण्टाघरको त्यत्रो ठाउँ छ त्यहाँ त्यो ठाउँहरुमा पनि गर्न सकिन्छ
थोरै बजेटमा पनि हामीले सजिलोसँग किनमेल गर्न सकौं र कुनै नाम दिएर त्यसलाई व्यवस्थापन गर्नु चाहिँ उत्तम हुन्छ
स्थानीय तहले सुपथ मूल्यमा ठाउँ-ठाउँमा चौकमा हस्पिटल चौक अगाडि जस्तो बुद्धिमा पनि हुन्छ नि व्यवसायहरू तिनीहरुलाई सुपथ मूल्यमा सटर उपलब्ध गराइदियो भने
उनीहरुको रोजी मार्नु हुँदैन उनीहरुलाई व्यवस्थापन गरेर कहाँ दिनु पर्यो त्यहाँ दिनुपर्छ
नगरपालिकाले ठोस योजना बनाएर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ
एउटा यो ठाउँमा गर्नु है भनेर उहाँहरुलाई पनि दियो भने चाहिँ उहाँहरुले एकदम व्यवस्थापन गरेर गर्नुहुन्छ
साना साना सटरहरु बनाएर त्यसमा व्यवस्थापन मिलाउन सकिन्छ
Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question, why has the border dispute between Nepal and India recurred? Your options are A, India's high-handedness, B, lack of bilateral efforts, and C, due to open border. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Commanders from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps (IRGC) and Lebanon's Hezbollah group are on the ground in Yemen, helping to direct and oversee Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping. Iran, which has armed, trained and funded the Houthis, stepped up its weapons supplies to the militia in the wake of the war in Gaza, which erupted after Iranian-backed militants Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, the four regional sources said. Tehran has provided advanced drones, anti-ship cruise missiles, precision strike ballistic missiles and medium-range missiles to the Houthis, who started targeting commercial vessels in November in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. IRGC commanders and advisors are also providing know-how, data and intelligence support to determine which of the dozens of vessels traveling through the Red Sea each day are destined for Israel and constitute Houthi targets. The Houthis, who emerged in the 1980s as an armed group in opposition to Saudi Arabia's Sunni religious influence in Yemen, say they are supporting Hamas by striking commercial ships they say are either linked to Israel or are heading to Israeli ports. Residents of a Mexican town set fire to the municipal palace overnight on Friday in a violent protest after local police shot a young man in the neck according to his relatives, after he did not stop his car at a checkpoint. National media reported that police shot dead 27-year-old Brandon Arellano, the son of a local teacher, as he arrived outside his grandmother's house. Videos shared online show his father attempting to revive him at the scene. Authorities did not disclose why Arellano had been stopped. Residents of the town in the Gulf Coast state of Veracruz overturned a police car and set it on fire and clashed with police officers at the scene. They also broke windows at the local government palace and set it on fire. A social media post from the state's public security ministry shortly after the killing said 4 municipal police officers had been detained for a suspected homicide and would make their statements to state prosecutors. Russian President Vladimir Putin showed his intention to visit Pyongyang soon, North Korea's state-run broadcaster KRT has reported. Putin also thanked North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for his invitation to visit as he met North Korean Foreign Minister Cho Sun-hui, who visited Russia last week. Russia thanked North Korea for its support and solidarity in the Ukraine war, and the two also expressed serious concerns over provocative acts by the United States and its allies against Pyongyang's sovereign rights, while agreeing to cooperate in regional affairs. KCNA said the operation between Pyongyang and Moscow will be in line with the UN Charter and other international laws. Condemnation of Israel's military action in Gaza dominated the closing sessions of the Non-Aligned Movement's annual summit in Uganda, where 2 of the United Nations top diplomats rallied the 120-member bloc to condemn what they said were indiscriminate attacks against Palestinian civilians. Scores of heads of state and senior officials from the NAM, which was officially established in 1961 by countries that chose not to align with either of the 2 major Cold War-era military and political blocs, gathered in Uganda for the summit's closing ceremony. Israel launched an offensive in Gaza following the Islamist militant group Hamas's October 7 attack, in which, according to Israeli officials, over 1,200 Israelis and foreigners were killed and 240 taken hostage. This military campaign resulted in over 24,000 Palestinian fatalities, as reported by Gaza health authorities. Almost every African nation is a member of the NAM, accounting for nearly half of its membership. The diverse member countries range from India and Indonesia to Saudi Arabia and Iran, as well as Chile, Peru, and Colombia. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte faced fierce backlash from residents during a visit to the southern Andean region of Ayacucho, where 10 people were killed, in fact reported killed, during anti-government protests in December 2022. One woman who said her husband had been killed in mid-December 2022 in protests that would go on for months managed to evade security and shake up the president. Local media reported that she was taken away by police but not detained. The December 2022 protest broke out after former President Pedro Castillo was ousted and arrested while illegally trying to close Congress. His vice president Boluarte was rapidly sworn in, but dozens died in ensuing protest, mostly in southern Peru. Boluarte has faced a constitutional complaint and probe on charges of genocide, qualified homicide, and serious injuries, charges she denies. Ecuador's armed forces seized a semi-submersible with 3.2 tons of drugs at sea yesterday. Armed forces boats intercepted the vessel 32 nautical miles off the coast of the city of Esmeraldas in an operation carried out with the help of the Colombian army. 3 Colombian men were detained and handed over to Ecuador's national police, a statement by the country's armed forces said. The drugs were valued at $50 million, according to authorities. Thousands of Ethiopian Orthodox followers gathered in the capital Addis Ababa on Friday and Saturday to celebrate Timket, a religious festival commemorating Jesus' baptism in the Jordan River. Followers marched from churches to Jan Meda, an open field in the capital, while priests carried tents called tabots, replicas of the Ark of the Covenant that are sacred in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, one of the world's oldest churches. A two-year conflict in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region that ended in November 2022 drove people from their homes, destroyed harvests, leaving widespread hunger in the area. Although the religious festival was celebrated across the country, in some areas it was disrupted by conflict in the Amhara region. Gondar, Amhara region's second biggest city, usually attracts many people during the Timket festival, but a few days prior to the festival, clashes broke out between government forces and Fano, a local militia. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal arrived Nepal earlier today after concluding the 19th summit of the non-aligned movement in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Preparations underway to amend the act related to political parties to safeguard the ruling alliance. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps and Lebanon's Hezbollah group helping to direct and oversee Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping. And New Zealand, in fact Nepal, taking on New Zealand today in their first match of the ongoing Under-19 World Cup in South Africa. Match scheduled to kick off at 1:45 p.m. Nepal time. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.